Hello everyone and welcome to the conclusions of the men's Ronde van Vlaanderen with me, James Talk Sport. My first conclusion is that today we saw a new Mathieu van der Poel. Normally you see him attacking on the Kwaremont, attacking on the Paterberg the first time, on the Koppenberg and even on the Tyenberg as well. And then you don't know what to expect from his sprint. 2 years ago, he beat Wout van Aert. Last year, he lost to Casper Asgreen. This year, however, we didn't see that at all. We saw a tactical Van der Poel who used his energy, used his reserves as and when he needed to, i.e., when Pogacar went, because he attacked a lot. He had to. And he was so confident in his sprint that he stopped riding in that final K. We'll get on to that final K later on. But 4 starts, 4 top 5 finishes, 3 podiums, 2 wins. Mathieu van der Poel is insane at the Ronde. My second conclusion is that Pogacar's strength finally catches up to him. Not in the sense that he wouldn't have won, but the sense that he was the strongest in the race, and in the classics, the strongest riders don't always win. Had to hit out early to try and put Van der Poel and others under pressure. He did. He dropped most of them by the time we got to the Koppenberg, and he did all he could, really, to try and drop Van der Poel on the Kwaremont Paterberg for the final time. It wasn't to be, but that final kilometre was an absolute mess from him. He sat up, he allowed Mathieu to take the front. Van der Poel wisely banked on his acceleration. He then, when Van Baarle and Madouas were closing, he didn't decide to hit the front just to do a turn to keep going. And then he allowed himself to get swamped. And then he gets boxed in a little bit, maybe pushed slightly, but that's racing. And he throws toys at the pram. For once, Pogacar's strength doesn't win him a bike race, but he will be back and he will win this race. Third conclusion is another disappointing day for Quick-Step Alpha Vinyls. They looked confident, they looked very good going into the second time up the Kwaremont. De Klerk had done his usual work. They had Steimel and Stibar in an early move for Asgreen to bridge up to. All was looking rosy until they hit the Paterberg. Asgreen was the only one that followed Pogacar straight away on the Kwaremont. But on the Paterberg, Koppenberg, it all began to unravel. Asgreen was dropped, and then he was dropped again on the Koppenberg before his chain came off, and disappointing day was confounded with 23rd as a top result. Is this the end for Quick-Step's dominance with other teams coming through? Conclusion number 4, and it's finally a good day at the Tour of Flanders for the Ineos Grenadiers. They've had good results in the past. They've had top 10s with Luke Rowe, Thomas, I think, as top 10s, Fletcher, but they've never managed to get near or towards the podium or even the win. Today they did. We'll start with him, so the man himself, Dylan van Baarle. He had a very strange race. He attacked before the Koppenberg like he normally does. Was with them, and then he was the first dropped on the Eau de Kwaremont for the final time. Race over, we thought. However, he found some reserves from nowhere and finished in second place, beating Pogacar in the sprint. A good day all round for Ineos. Pidcock finished 14th. I think he's probably a little bit too light to be able to win when you compare his stature to Van der Poel and even Pogacar. He's so lightweight, I think he's too light. But Ben Turner is certainly one for the future, as we already know. Brilliant classic campaign, and yeah, all round good day for once for the Ineos Grenadiers. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but Groupama have had a fantastic classics campaign. Probably their best ever, really. Normally they're backing Arnold Demar and he gets dropped somewhere between the first and second time at the Claremont. Um, but in Stefan Kung and Valentin Madouas, they've really had a dynamic duo to compete at these races. Kung has had his best classics campaign, finishing with a fantastic fifth place today. While Valentin Madouas was in the group with fighting for the win, and he got on the podium. So brilliant result for him. He has slowly improved in his classics. I always thought he was a bit of a climber, but clearly he is more than just a climber. He is a fantastic rider for the cobbles. Great riding by Groupama FDJ, and with the likes of Askey and Stewart to come, Groupama are looking like one of the strongest teams for the future. My final conclusion is other notable performances. You had Bahrain victorious as a whole, with Fred Wright and Dylan Teuns in the top 10. Jan Tratnik was the strongest on the first time, sorry, up the Paterberg, dropping everyone. And he'll be disappointed, but Matej Mohoric got a decent top 25 position as well. Positioning is his thing that he needs to work on, but with Wright and Teuns and Tratnik, they still had a fantastic day. Other good days were Christoph and Matthews, never really going to feature in the battle for the win, but they got 10th and 11th respectively. And Movistar, two top 25 positions with Alex Aramburu and Ivan Garcia Cortina. So thank you for watching my conclusions of the 2022 Ronde with James Talk Sport. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you very soon for the conclusions of the women's race, and then we'll look ahead to the cobbles of Roubaix, Amstel Hills of Amstel Gold, and the rest of the Ardennes. I'll be there. Woohoo!